Good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. Today, I'm going to open myself up a water because I'm thirsty. All right, today, I'm going to draw me some Hot Girl because we got the Blu-rays of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and love me some Hot Girl. So,
Which, by the way, everyone, Happy New Year! This is the first Super Secret Project sketch of the new year.
as the calendar is rolled over again, and all that.
Hopefully for better things.
I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm just going to keep pushing forward. All right, that's nice and centered. So, Hawk Girl. Okay, look. I started in the anime tradition, wow, decades now ago, and there's a lot of strong female characters, but there's even more just sort of sexy, stereotypical, quote-unquote strong characters. Female characters. Justice League Unlimited had two of, like, my, probably not the most, but they're in the group of my most favorite strong female characters. Wonder Woman and Hawk Girl are amazing. I love them, and there's a bunch of other really good strong female characters, but Hawk Girl is a thug. And she's a hot thug, and that's why I love her. She's a hot thug. There's nothing feminine in her fighting. There's just the way she handles things. She's almost one of the boys. She jokes around. She's funny. I just love her to death.
I just love the fact that on Thanagar, at least the Justice League version, I'm not too sure about, because I haven't read many Hawk Girl comics and stuff.
I haven't. I just love the animated version.
Yeah, she was a detective on Thanagar. And so...
Yeah, they mentioned that in the show. Yeah.
And so I think I love the fact that she was a detective. I would have liked to have seen that come into play more.
That could have been done.
I mean, that would have been really neat to see, like, her and Batman going like some type of caper.
It is weird that they didn't do that, right?
Yeah, they made sure to bring it up, but yet never
did anything with it.
Yeah. I mean, and even with well, obviously with Green Lantern and all that stuff, but still, the fact that the Lantern Corps they're basically a bunch of space cops.
Yeah.
So it's like,
or even a space military.
Yeah. Well, the space cop was tossed around more than anything.
Yeah, but they were militaristic at times too. So. But I'm just saying.
To see her team up also with Green Lantern Corps for the sake of, solving stuff. I mean, the early on episode where Green Lantern was, he was tried for the destruction of the planet, which
it was like the second or third episode.
It was part of, because they did several multi-parters when they first started. So
actually, a lot of the original Justice League was multi-parters. If not all of them.
No, the first.
A lot of them were.
The first part of the first season were at least three, or there were at least three parters that I can remember. But yeah, it's like when he was being tried and all that, with her being a detective, which I actually even mentioned, I was like, hey, with her being a detective, which she did in a sense did discover some of the abnormalities and
abnormalities.
Yeah, abnormality.
Abnormalities.
Yes, exactly. Whew, yeah, talking's
Yeah,
hard.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah, it's been a bit, but yeah. To me, it's like she would have, unless in Thanagar being a detective just means not being very observant in that sense. I don't know.
Now, to be fair, Thanagar is like a super thuggy society. I mean, everything that they showed, everything was like
it's
that.
A war planet, yeah.
Yeah, it's all they're almost Klingons. I mean, they're really thuggy warrior types. So maybe she was like a detective there, because maybe punching people in the face until they got an answer was their version.
Or smashing something open and discovering it Hey, I found it.
as compared to just blowing up the whole building and then going like, win, Thanagar, you know. You know, I mean, I like me the Thanagarians, but they're, you know, delicate is not a word I would use to describe them.
Alright, still no vision on Facebook, but I'm watching the YouTube channel now.
Could you drop a little thing on YouTube and just be like, or I'm sorry, Facebook, and be like, yeah, we might have some technical problems here. Please join us on blah blah blah.
Yeah, pop it through our super secret page there.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. Come on. You let me do stuff.
Love the Bruce Timm style. I just wish more shows were like he was like his stuff was like super hot for so long, and then it's like they just dropped his style, which is a shame because it is so good.
Well, I mean, it's his work and his stuff.
I mean, I get that. I'm just saying it's a shame that it went away.
Well, it kind of went on with a little bit with Brave and the Bold. They did a more
They did like a cartoonier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was kind of there, but that was also quite a ways back. Brave and the Bold's been off the air for a long time.
yeah. But again, like I said, he was doing more comic and more production work and stuff afterwards.
Yeah, which is entirely fine. I'm just saying it's a shame because it was a nice balance between because I don't think a lot of people necessarily think about it, and it's something that I struggle with because I look at my artwork and go like, this would be tough to animate because you need to, in an animated style, you need to have something that's very quick to draw, and which is why a lot of styles look super loose and, you know, geometric and abstract because it's easy to draw quickly, which makes sense for production. But Bruce Timm's was a combination of what really appeared to be fairly quick to draw because minimal lines that did a lot, yada yada, but still kind of held, you know, a nice amount of anatomy and, comparatively speaking, realistic sort of structure. I mean, it's clearly not realistic, but compared to like Steven Universe, it is. You know, and as much as I like me some Steven Universe, there's, you know, and there's a lot about that style that I like. My heart usually kind of sits with sort of the cartoony slash realistic kind of stuff. It's a little bit more cheek there. And Bruce Timm's was one of the ones that worked really, really well. Not to say that he was the greatest ever, because I don't believe in that idea. I just think that his was awfully good. I can't imagine what the perfect style would even look like. I think I'd become a boring person if I just settled on one.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we have styles that we all like and stuff and appreciate, and even have favorites and all. But yeah, there is no perfect style.
No,
The moment you say that, someone else comes in and goes, "No, you're wrong."
Yeah, that's it exactly. And on top of it, I think on a personal level, it's bad for you because you just become sterile. It's like the people that only watch like The Simpsons or whatever, which is fine if you do. That's totally fine. But it's like I bumped into people that are like, yeah, The Simpsons, and they won't even go to Futurama. I mean, you know, or any of the others. Well, it's not The Simpsons. I just go like, wow, like The Simpsons has been off the air for. I'm sorry, the Futurama's been off the air for 20, 15, 20 years.
About
A long time.
It's been about 10. 'Cause remember they did the latest. They did the last run.
You're right. My brain is flashing back to when it started. You're right, but still a long time. A very, very long time. And I talked to some of the guys at work. Have you seen Disenchantment? And their reaction was like, which is fine. That could be their reaction. But I was kind of going like, is it because you're still locked onto The Simpsons? You know, because it is. It acts differently than The Simpsons, and it acts differently than Futurama. Because I could see someone being like, because I'm a huge Futurama fan, and being all like, it's not like Futurama. I'm like, no, it's not. That's why it's awesome. You know.
And I mean, and even for me, I mean, I, I like The Simpsons. I thought they were all right. I have some episodes.
Had moments.
But I love Futurama.
Oh, I adore it.
And Disenchanted, for me, it was okay.
And I can see that.
Yeah, and like I said,
It's not everybody's thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of a lot of and I don't want to like go historical thing or period dramas. I'm not a big fan of medieval stuff.
That makes sense.
And the thing is, I like some aspects of it, and even put into the cartoon aspect, I thought it was funny and I had a lot of fun with it and everything. But I wasn't looking at it as this isn't Futurama. It was more like this is fun, and I thought it was all right.
Well, the thing
it
is,
just didn't catch me. It's like it got like Futurama caught me.
And it doesn't have to.
Right.
And I mean, it's not that everybody does it. I've just bumped into some fans that get so locked into like one thing, which is fine if you do. But I end up like looking at it, going like, that just seems boring. Like I'll get locked into something for a period, then I want to shift over into something else, you know, and be like, having some variety.
Well, yeah, it's like why you have this grand buffet.
That's it, exactly.
All this fantastic stuff, and you're just gonna sit there and like fill yourself on the chocolate mousse. Chocolate mousse is great.
Oh, unless that's all you have.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But if that's all, if that you go to this grand buffet and that's all you go there for, then what's the point?
Yeah, that's how I look at it. It's like when people go like, well, I only watch stuff with mecha, which is fine. It's absolutely fine, but after a while, I would just get bored.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, I only like fighting series. Again, fine. But again, I would look at it as like, how many times can you watch somebody being punched in the face? You know, I just would be like, I just want to watch some of this. I don't want to watch this all the time, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Love it. I think it's great. I don't want to watch superhero stuff all the time. I just don't.
Yeah,
but when I do,
yeah.
I really enjoy myself.
Yeah, or I'm only going to watch this particular thing by this particular creator or so. And it's just like, okay, that's cool. That's good that you're a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just get bored.
Yeah, I'll say, but there's so much other really cool stuff out there that you're missing because of that.
Yeah, that's only where I'm coming from, is just the sheer, I would personally get bored doing that.
Yeah.
You know? That's why it's like I have like favorite character designers and stuff, but very few of them resemble each other's work.
Yep.
I've got a couple that where you can like kind of group them up into like favorites, but
yeah, same here. I mean, a lot of my stuff, I mean, it's nice having a giant, varied kind of platter of things, and because you can just take so much from all these different people and learn from all these different styles and genres and everything, and it's like it's just nice to have a very I don't know, it's not the word mix, but it's to have a very palette in a sense, I guess.
Well, it makes you appreciate the stuff that you like super enjoy more, because you're not sitting there just consuming it constantly. You know, it's like loving caramel. I love caramel, but if you ate it all the time, you just wouldn't taste it anymore. You know, just I mean, caramel is like mind-alteringly delicious, but if I just did it all the time, other than the fact that I'd probably diabetic, I just get tired of it. You want chocolate cheesecake every day? No. No, but please, once or twice a year. And then I'll just, turn myself into a pig. A total shameless pig. That's right, ladies. I'm a total shameless pig. And I'm taken.
No charge.
No charge.
I love you, honey.
Oh, I know. I know, and I'm so glad. Because I know I won the lottery. My baby loves me.
Absolutely. Yeah, Hawkgirl, she's one of those characters I absolutely adore, and if I ever get back into proper shape and form here and have the
It's
time,
hard.
I would absolutely love to cosplay her, because she's one of my, she's one of my cartoon heroes in the sense of just who she is, what she does, and I loved her look since with the Justice League and stuff like that. And plus, and her costume always looked pretty neat to me. And it looked like it'd be one of those ones where I was like, for me, it's more along the lines of I just want to make her mace.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if I'm gonna make the mace, I might as well make the rest of it.
Well, like for example, it's nice having female characters where they're not doing the I wonder if I can compete with the boys. They get so old. I mean, if it's done really well, it can work. But most of the time, I'm just like, ugh. And with Hawkgirl, she steps in and just goes, I don't give a crap what these dudes think. And one of my, like early on, one of my favorite bits is like Superman's like, hold on, I better go take care of this. But before he could put his hand in front of her, she was already beating the crap out of the enemy. And he went, good work. You know, and that was it. It was like he was kind of being a gentleman for like a split second, and then he goes, "Oh, it's not necessary." and she didn't even like do any. She didn't even like go like the whole. It's like, "Don't you hold me back." It was like none of that. She just went in there and was like, "You coming?" I was like, "Hot girl." That's why we all think she's hot. And some of my favorite moments are the moments where she's out dude joking the dudes. Let me see. It's Flash being like, that's why they call me the fastest man alive. And Hawkgirl's like, it's probably why you don't get many dates. I was like,
He just goes,
hot girl. and the other one with Fire and Ice sitting off the side, and Flash is wanting to ask Fire out on a date. And Hot Girl goes, oh, didn't you hear Flash? And he's like, what? Fire. I hear she's, and she pauses, Brazilian. And Flash goes, oh, like, that's not funny. You know, like, this is like, oh my God, thank you. And just do these wonderfully mature, like, dude jokes. And she would just, like, especially with the Flash, she would almost always outdo the Flash. And just so funny. And I just loved her for that. You know, just, oh, so good. Like, legitimately, really. Actually, I got one question, and I want to see if we can spot it, because every single time we restart Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited, I go, well, I'm going to watch for this, but every single time I'm like, I don't see it. Okay, remember the episode, spoiler alert, where they kill Solomon Grundy and she puts him down like a dog?
yeah.
Okay, in that episode, she makes a big deal about how Solomon Grundy died earlier saving them. It's in the episode. It's like, remember, it's like he's a soulless husk now, but remember, this was the guy that helped us. He died helping us.
Right.
I never remember that anywhere in the series. I'm like, what story? When did this happen? Like, every single time I watch the whole series, I come up to that point and I go, stop. Wait. When did that happen? Do I keep missing it? Am I just not remembering?
I think I asked the same thing because I was like, wait, did I miss a couple episodes or something? So it's just one of those ones we're gonna have to either.
I'm really curious because it's like a heart wrenching kind of episode and it's beautifully acted and animated, and Solomon Grundy is this mindless killing machine that's out of control, and they beat on him for like 15 straight minutes just to slow him down. And there's this beautiful scene because she's the only one that has a weapon designed to kill magical creatures, where she puts him down. And it's one of my favorite episodes on so many levels. I mean, it's a great fight. It's nice to see the Justice League getting the crap kicked out of them. It's just like, it's like a slobber knocker of an episode. And then it gets to this end where you're like,
Yeah, that was Unlimited, right?
it was in Unlimited. It was later on. Yeah. And I just go like, wait a minute, this is such a great episode, but what the heck is Hawk Girl talking about? I don't remember that happening anywhere. You know, and I always kind of go like, when did that happen? I love this episode, but when did that happen? And especially that whole bit, which was heartbreaking because Solomon Grundy was exhausted and on his knees, and the voice actress did such a good job. She's just like, no, just close your eyes. It's gonna be all right. And I'm going like, I wish I had cartoons like this when I was a kid, you know. And then you just see her raise the club up, and they switch scenes, and you're just like, wow, crap. No, it's all right. It'll be over soon. The pain will stop. And I'm just like, jeez, so good.
Yeah,
But I always go, did I miss this? When did this happen? When was he killed the first time? Well, how did he sacrifice himself? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm reading one of the wiki fandom pages regarding that to see if it's on there talking about it. And there's some stuff I think they're mentioning it.
Because I keep watching the series going like, when did that happen? And either I'm missing it or they're leaving an episode out, or because it seems too weird for them to be just doing that out of nowhere and never have actually done it. You know, maybe they did. Maybe they were like, no, don't worry about it. People will just assume it was a story that they weren't seeing. But it seems like an awfully big thing to kind of skip over.
It says, let's see, Grundy's last appearance was in Justice League, the episode Terror Beyond, which established the connections between Aquaman and Dr. Fate and between Grundy and Shayera. Likewise, Dr. Fate alludes to his fight with Shayera in part 1 of that episode. Superman alludes to the fights he had with Grundy in Justice League episodes Injustice for All, Only a Dream Part 1, and The Terror Beyond Part 1. So, maybe just episodes we haven't gotten to yet that we need to...
I've watched both series all the way through, to my knowledge, multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean is the first time through I was like, did I miss something? And then every single time after that I was like looking for it, going like, am I missing something? I must have just kept missing it, I guess. Because Solomon Grundy was one of my favorite villains. Hawk Girl was one of my favorite characters. That was one of my favorite scenes, you know? I just keep going like, what? When did that happen?
In the comics, Solomon Grundy has died multiple times. Each time he comes back with a vaguely different personality. varying levels of intelligence, strength, and power. The way Grundy appears in this episode, in contrast with his previous appearance, seems similar to the comics in that way.
Yeah, but that doesn't actually say what happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably something that either we missed or something.
Yeah, because I'm going to keep a good eye out this time and really watch for it. Because every single time I keep going like, I'm going to catch it. And I just kind of go like, how am I missing this? This just seems so like such a big deal. One of the major villains saving the Justice League and dying in the process. It kind of feels like something I'd remember. And I'm going to feel stupid if I suddenly catch it and go like, oh, how the hell did I miss that? I feel so stupid.
Okay, the episode that I think a lot of people are referencing is called the Terror Beyond. Let's see. Read. Okay, yeah, there's an episode called The Terror Beyond, which I think is probably crucial to that we
Yes,
need to pay attention to.
Yeah, I'm going because that name sounds familiar. I feel as if I know that one.
It's like,
And maybe it is actually every single time I'm like, yep, there it is. And then I forget later being like, I don't remember what happened. You know?
it's like what I said earlier. It's like when we started rewatching it again, I was like, huh. It's like how many times we've seen this series. There's still stuff that I'm like, huh. Where did that happen?
When did that happen?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I didn't remember. Like the first episode, I was like, wait, I don't remember this starting out like this.
Yeah. I did, but I was also kind of like for a split second, I was like, oh, right. They're starting with the Martian thing. Right. Because it's not like we watch the series constantly, you know, we just kind of stick it on every couple of years. And our brains are getting old, you know.
Well, that and when it first came on, because we were actually, we were lucky enough to actually see it when it was being like put on and broadcast and stuff, and so we were catching a lot of the episodes, not exactly out of order, but
I caught a lot of them out of
well,
order.
that too. But when we actually started watching it in order, it was by that time it was already going, so we didn't get a chance to see the beginning until we got the initially the DVDs and now the Blu-rays and stuff.
But yeah, no, it's funny. Hawkgirl could just very easily be a character that you could just screw up. Because in many ways, she just is not as interesting in powers or in blah, blah, blah as a lot of the other characters. Like, you can always get Batman scaring the hell out of somebody, and if it's written right, it's really entertaining. You know, Martian Manhunter coming out of nowhere has a high chance of being very entertaining. But a flying chick with a club, there's a very good chance that you're going to be like, eh. So instead, they gave her like the greatest personality. And then on top of it, they made her like smoking hot, like just ridiculously hot, you know? And I was always like, man, they went out of their way to draw her pretty, like confident pretty, not like girly pretty, but like strong pretty. And you're like, wow.
watching it over again. She is now. I'll have to see as the series goes on and we watch more and stuff. But as far as like all the characters who are getting tossed around, hit, thrown, punched, and all this stuff, they make her have a lot of grunts.
Well, I think that might have just been the voice actress doing that.
Because I mean, I listen to like Superman and basically all the power guys who get beat up and who can take the hits and all that stuff, and even with Wonder Woman, she doesn't grunt, yell.
She doesn't grunt
as much as Hawk Girl.
Well, Hawk Girl's a very kind of like, she'll come in just screaming and hollering and, you know, and I like I said, I think that might have just been the voice actress. Like, I think they just made her a very vocal character, because she does not come off as weak at all. But she does come off as somebody who makes a lot of noise. You know?
Sketching on the pad here. I'm like sketching, was like, oh, this feels weird.
Yeah, you just keep going.
Yeah.
See, it's always the problem is no matter what you do, you just can't keep up with everything. You just keep going and you just keep trying.
Yeah. Especially with all the hooting going on and stuff. It's like,
It's like the primary skills you have to have, you try to really sit down and make it happen. And then there's secondary skills that you want to keep polished, but you just, no matter how hard you try, you just can't keep them all in your head. I mean, unless you really do have, like you're rich or something and you don't have, you have all the time in the world and you don't, like we don't, so. It's like, I used to be better at, well, maybe that's wrong. I've gotten better in many ways at drawing bodies, but there was a time where I was drawing them all the time. And I feel in many ways I've improved, but in some ways I don't have that same kind of like instinct that I used to. So in some ways I've improved, and in other ways I haven't. So like this, where I'm concentrating on heads and faces and stuff, it's just like almost second nature at this point. It's no big deal. I can just do it and have fun with it. But like when you're working with bodies, this is a fraction of the difficulty of drawing a body. And so I find every dirty little trick I can just to get the work done, because I don't get to draw my characters full-bodied anywhere near as much as I'd like to. I just don't. I wish I did, but I don't. And, you know, plus I have to write stuff, plus my job, plus blah, blah, blah. And you get to a point where you're like, yeah, something's got to give. No matter how hard you try, something's got to give. So if you don't feel perfect at something, welcome to the rest of our, you know, experience. I know. Dude, it sucks. I know.
Final closeout, that's going to be odd considering that she ends up with Green Lantern and you're putting her with Martian Manhunter.
Well, is what it is. If I had my head on right, I would have started with Wonder Woman.
I'll do that in the next couple weeks.
There's a power couple for you. Jeez.
Oh, there's this one artist. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name because they are Icelandic, Swedish.
Ooh, Icelandic. Those are some hard names to pronounce.
They're in that area. I want to say either they're Dutch or they're in that area or they're from that area. But they did a lot of they do a lot of comic work and they're known for their personal comic they've done. Because I think it's a husband and wife couple, and their main comic that they've done is called, is it Sunstone? I want to say it's Sunstone, but it's a comic about a lady who discovers herself through bondage and dominatrix stuff, and beautifully drawn. All yeah, we had the comic in the shop when I was there and all that, and I actually
Hey,
stood
if no
there.
one's getting hurt.
No, and that's good. It was
Exactly
literally talking
right.
about the stuff and all. But anyway, bringing that up is because they were doing just like a bunch of little mini comics featuring Wonder Woman and Laura Croft. Because Laura Croft is an explorer, and she finds the Isle of Amazons and stuff. And
Suddenly that makes more sense. I'm
Yeah.
going like, well, that's random.
Yeah, but she's an explorer and
Fruit Pie Batman and Cubert from the 80s cartoon. All right.
Yeah, I've heard, seen weirder. But anyway, they become just like a good, like the buddies and stuff and exploring all that. And there's just this, like, it's not even, well, I can't say even mild, but they're like this just great, just sapphic overtones after, along with it, because there's one part where Laura Croft is like leaning over her desk, and she's like, wait, I gotta see it. What size heels are you, or how tall the heels are you wearing, or the stilettos you're wearing? And she's like, holy crap, you're wearing flats. And as Wonder Woman is like, stilettos, I assure you, Miss Croft, or she calls her Lady Croft, I assure you, Lady Croft, I do not carry such weapons with me. And it's just this great, just like little mini comics of them fighting together and all that.
That's cute.
And there was one where it's where they got their ropes switched, and Laura Croft was holding the lasso of truth, and she just starts talking. She's like, yeah, and I actually do get a little scared when it comes to adventuring and all that, and oh, and by the way, when you say my name, Lady Croft, I question myself about some things. And Wonder was kind of looking at her with this little smile, going like, you seem to be holding the wrong rope, Lady Croft.
That's some funny stuff.
It is. It's really good. And I was like, you know what? Like, can I see more? Because it was so funny yet sweet yet really really like nicely drawn.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is I'm just thinking that art should just be basically about having fun, and sometimes it's a little bit more clever than that. Sometimes, yeah, you can say stuff with it, but at the end of the day, I think most artwork is just like people's fantasies, and let them have them.
Yeah, and
It's just fun.
It just be honest, and what I love
Yeah, just
about,
don't be mean.
yeah, what I love about on some of the artists that I follow on Twitter, and then of course when you follow artists, you see all the different other artists that they follow and all that. And one of the ones I was laughing at, I just shrugged my shoulders. I'm just like, no lies detected. When they're talking about, you know what, they're like 80% of the time when I'm drawing characters and stories, it's just because I want to see my characters bang. And I'm just like, yeah. They're like, we have the ability to do so. Why not make it happen? Like, of course, we make a story around it. and all
Why
that
are we
stuff.
pretending that humans don't think this
I
way?
know.
Oh, it's improper. Oh, no, it's unnatural that you think that people don't think this way. It's like, look, I don't want to think that members of my family think this way, and it's none of my business of what they think. But they're humans, so come on now. People think this way.
Like, no, improper is walking down the street with your like fly open.
That's
telling
improper. Yeah.
Telling everybody
When you're
that-
forcing stuff on
Yeah,
people, yes,
like-
that's improper. That's wrong. But when people go like, I can't believe that they put these two sexy women in bed together, I'm like, you can't believe that. You
How long have you been
can't
alive?
believe that. Really. You watched Justice League Unlimited, and it surprises you that somebody thought that maybe Wonder Woman and Hawk Girl might be hot together. That shocks you. Like, where are you from?
Thinking, like, how long
Look
have
at them.
you been alive, and how long have you not been on the computer?
One's an alien with a bird costume, the other's a mythological goddess with, like, rope. I'm just saying, how is this that crazy of an idea to you.
Well, for those extremely pure at heart people.
Which is fine that people are, but it's just even the pure of heart, I have to look at them and go like, you really think everyone thinks like you? Good for you that you're able to kind of like keep yourself like kind of under control and all that, but really?
Well, not only that, but it's like to expect everyone to have the same moral compass as you, and then to get angry when
You
people,
don't?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
people just go no, and it's like, okay, then you don't have to do all this stuff, and that's perfectly fine. But it's like, that how many billions of people are in this world, and
Yeah, it's impossible that we're all going to think the same way. I gave up on that idea a long time ago.
yeah.
It's just like, you know what? That's not possible. I'm done with that idea. I'm seriously, I'm like, I got to a point where I'm going like, I don't even want to be in that conversation.
Yeah, you tell
Don't you think it's possible that everybody could think the same way? No. No, it is. But you'd have to exterminate all humans except for one. Then you might succeed, but then that person might end up, being conflicted and it starts all over again. So,
or you have to be in a cult.
or you're in a cult, that. Yeah, but that's by force, and it's creepy. Cults are creepy. Somebody in a cult. I can't believe he said that.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Cult. Cult.
Cult classic, ladies and gentlemen. New cult.
And my favorite, Vanilla Cherry Cult.
Cult Zero.
Cult Zero. Gross.
What's the purpose of Colt Zero? You have none of the cult flavor. No, it has all the cult flavor, just none of the cult calories.
Nice.
Okay, good. I hope they didn't pick that up on the microphone.
What?
My stomach is giving me angry kitten noises.
Oh, well, maybe it did, but I didn't hear it.
Oh. I was trying to like shift it away. Probably chances are probably not. But it started
I have a
out
whale in my tummy.
pretty much. It started out as angry kitten and went down to like hungry whale. It was like.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's. I very much think that people that want to stay pure at heart and all that sort of classic stuff, that's their right. They should have that. I'm just surprised when people just are like, oh, I can't believe that somebody, has inappropriate thoughts. I'm like, that's the default setting for humans in my mind.
One of my favorite interactions, and it was years and years and years ago when I finally started letting people look through my sketchbook and stuff, because I had years of not letting people do that because of stuff, and that's a whole different show right there. But family member was flipping through my sketchbook and all, and I didn't mind because I wanted to, hey, I'm proud of my stuff. Like, this was probably like 20 something years ago at this point. And I had sketched a picture of two of my characters like making out. It wasn't like them going out like
It's just normal stuff.
Sun's out, tongues out, It wasn't anything like that. But it was just a simple, just characters just kissing. And I was talking to another family member, and I was kind of like just doing the side eye, and I saw her flipping through my sketchbook, and she gets to that page, and then makes it so that she skips over that page. And I'm just like,
Really?
like you watch soap operas, don't give me that crap.
Yeah, that's hypocrisy in my mind. Oh no, my kink is okay because there's a soap commercial on it. All right. So you're telling me if there's soap commercials on Pornhub, you're going to be all good with the content? Come on now. Don't give me that. I always hated that when people like, oh, look, cartoons with boobs. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I've seen what you watch. This is weird to you? Come on.
Thank you, Rick Sanchez. Oh, don't you boo me. I see what makes you cheer.
Yep. Uh-huh. Exactly right. That's exactly my point. It's exactly my point. I hate that. I'm so sick of it. It's like there's, and the thing is, I include people that I like, but there's just, some personality types where they're just, oh, and I'm like, because they're like, I guess, nervous or something, and I just go like, I just don't want to share my artwork with some people, and it's not personal. It's just like, I just don't think like, which sounds really bizarre. This is going to sound totally bizarre, but I think it's true. They're not mature enough, being very mature people, not mature enough to handle it. Which is weird because I don't think I'm doing anything remotely weird. It's what I love is when I bump into, like, for example, got some of the people at work that I kind of share my stuff with and blah blah blah. Had one of my designs and just chesty as heck. I mean, ridiculously, hilariously chesty. Just physics make no sense chesty. And one of which, and it was the perfect reaction, his reaction was first blank face. And I'm like, that's it, that perfect. Exactly. You find it hot, cool, I ain't judging. But you don't have to find it hot because it's also funny. It's also really funny. And I spent a lot of time making those ridiculous things work. And and then I've had other ones where it was like, they took a look at it, and my favorite, she was my favorite reaction. She looked at it, she's like, oh, I love the boots. And I'm like, you're not offended with the chest? And she looks at me, I swear to God, she does this. Large breasts are a symbol of female power. And I was like,
darn straight.
I was like, see? You get it. It's not like some weird, there's cartoons are symbols. They're symbols like everything else are symbols. And when you put that stuff on there, we know what it is. We're not just being freaks, And I'm like, thank you. You get it. Yes. And then she goes, but the boots are amazing. And then later on, she caught another view. I swear to God, real quietly under her breath. It was so funny. God, I wish I had an ass like that. And I was like, you are awesome. I love you.
Was that the Noxarella?
Yeah. One of the back shots because, they have those tight clad, vinyl clad booties. Right. She's like, I wish I had an ass like that. I'm like, and I was so funny. I just looked at her and went, because I was at work, I was hoping I wasn't going to get in trouble. I was going like, so do I. Leave that open to your interpretation. But yeah, it's just, and then I have other people that I like, people that I respect, blah, 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 but I don't really want to show it, that sort of stuff to them because you get this, oh, what's it wrong? And you're like, really? How old are you?
Yep, I hear you.
If you don't like it, no, that's fine. Just to be able to do it, I'm not into this, blah, 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 but the whole trying to embarrass the artist bull, come on. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't want to judge, but I'm also like, seriously. Like, I don't have anything left to embarrass. Would you roll? And then I swear to God, if no like HR was around, I'd just be like, huge friggin' titties. 'Cause I don't care anymore. I'm just like, what do you think it is? You're ignoring all the design work I did. You're ignoring all the little kind of fun things, all the line work, all the contouring, and you're just going to concentrate on the boobs, honestly. And you call yourself mature? Come on.
I always hated that, and that was one of the reasons why I never liked showing people my sketchbook. Because when I would sit down and draw,
because they're juvenile.
Yeah, I mean, they would sit there and like stare behind you, and like, oh, you're drawing naked people, like. I'm drawing
friggin'
a
grow
body
up.
base. It's like, and I would just sit there like.
Why you have to describe this to people I don't understand? Yeah. Or explain this to people I don't get.
Because people are idiots.
Yeah,
I hate to say that, but
no, it is. It's you kind of get to a point where you know the people you can talk to, because it's so funny. You can tell the really immature people because they're the people that think they're so mature that they have to embarrass you. And I'm like, no, you're the immature ones.
yeah,
I don't think this is weird at all.
yeah,
You know, I go in and I draw anatomy on my characters because that's a good practice to do. By the way, the men too. And you just get to a point where you're going like, we've been doing this for thousands of years. This is what artists do. Cartoonists, painters, it don't matter. That's just if you draw humans or human-ish characters, anatomical nude drawings is a good idea. Period. It just is. And you want to take it further and make it salacious or whatever, your biz. I ain't gonna judge. But honestly, when I look for resources as to how to draw bodies and muscle and stuff, the first place I go to is porn cartoonists because they are the best at drawing anatomy.
usually.
Usually. No, asterisks there. Yes, usually. Asterisks there. Usually. Because especially like some of the Japanese ones, you'll just be like, do. Wow, look at the way they did the attach this. And yes, hot. I'm not acting like I'm not like, I don't see that at all. But you just end up going like, oh, see how they did the line between the clavicle and the blah, blah, blah. That's really, oh, blah, blah. And you just go like, oh, you can really tell the people who are really, really skilled anatomical drawers and not. And quite often, the people that draw naked people all the time, guess what, mature people? They're the ones that know how to do it.
Yeah,
No ifs, ands, or buts.
there's a part of me
With two T's.
there's still a part of me that's still a little wary of having my tablet out, my iPad and stuff out, because I have a ton of pictures that I use for resources and stuff, and a lot of them do have are anatomical stuff. So you do have a lot of naked people, or what can be even considered salacious, as you said, or prurient.
It's one of my favorite S words.
But it's like I save them because like you said, I'm like. And it was funny because a bunch of other artists were actually talking about that online, saying they're like, going through our resource files and all that stuff. We're like, oh, look at the way they did this. Look at the way they colored it, or the way they bounced the light, or look at the way they did the form on here. And then you have somebody coming up behind you. Why are you looking at all these nudie pictures?
So stupid.
And you're just like, I'm studying references. Oh, sure you are.
And I'm going to throw this out here because it is absolutely freaking true. It is absolutely true. When you do horrendous exaggeration, be it muscle or any kind of part of the anatomy, and you do it well, that takes skill. And so when people go like, oh, look at the big boobs, I'm like, do you have any idea?
Yes, look at the big boobs.
You have any idea what it actually takes to draw breasts that large on a character and have it remotely work? Because I've seen way more artists flub it up. I mean, no offense to you, but there's a lot of people out there drawing hot chicks with big boobs that they don't work. It's clumsy, or it's just awkward or disbalanced, or it comes off as funky or incorrect, even to the point where it's not even cartoonishly sexy. It's just weird. But the ones that pull it off, you're like, let me take notes. How did you do that? Because this is so over the top, and yet you still pulled it off. That impresses me, not the, why don't you just draw safe things? Oh, safe things are boring. You don't learn anything from drawing a dude in slacks over and over again, you know?
Unless that dude in slacks, unless it serves its purpose. I mean, the one manga that I've been, it's coming out in anime coming soon over here. The gangster house husband one.
Okay, but no, that's not what I'm talking
No,
about. That's not remotely what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Where everything is basically, there used to be a program, maybe it's still around, called Poser. All the male characters in it look like they were lawnmower salesmen in slacks. You know, the safest possible thing to have in a program. Right. Some just dude And it's like, oh, just make it safe. You know, like it's the equivalent of everything being a NASCAR race. Completely uninteresting, completely without excitement, completely without any, just freaking the same cars going around the track. Oh, nothing against NASCAR people out there, but you know, if it's just the same thing over and over again, I'm bored. I just am. And so when you go out there and you just see somebody who can really draw muscle, and then they don't mind taking it to like a degree where that might make somebody uncomfortable, that's what I want. I don't. I'm not in there being dirty and nasty. I'm in there going like, show me your skills. Let me see how you're doing that. Let me see how you put that together. Oh, that's how you do that wrinkle in that spot and that. Yeah. Instead of being like, well, this makes me uncomfortable, then go over there and don't look at it. I'm not interested in that conversation. Yeah. Man, the battery in this is beefy. Holy crap.
They just changed them out, right?
Yeah, it's like there's like we put like mega batteries in this thing or something. It's like it's swearing at me.
Probably is. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting when you got me mine for Christmas last year and stuff, and it's not nearly as beefy as that one.
Well, when I got this was $20, and then about a year later, I looked on the shelf, and I think they mismarked it. This is a $60.
I think it just got popular.
Well, it's either that popular or it's also an imported one from, it's a Sakura. It's a Japanese model. So the one I got you, because I didn't know if you were going to use it or not, is they had a whole beginner section, and I went, I think it was like a $10 or $15 model. It wasn't cheap, but it also wasn't like this. And I was like, well, if she really gets into it, we'll you know. And so that's why it's like when yours kicked up, it didn't sound like this. I was like, well, that doesn't surprise me any.
Which I don't mind.
But I'm also kind of curious if this runs out of batteries faster than yours does, because it's like you could just feel the battery acid boiling in this thing.
Well, you also use it way more than I use mine too, so.
Well, the thing that I like about this is it's not only good for cleanup and lines and stuff. You can just dip and just put a spot down if you have enough control, and it will clean it, just gone. And I'm like, that's what I want.
Hello, we have a person that just joined us on Facebook. Hobby, you are very good. Aw.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's we do this almost every Saturday at 4.
4 Central Time, American.
Yeah, something timey like that. But yeah, you want to come and hang out anytime, feel free. Because honestly, this is one of the only times during the week I get to draw whatever cartoon character I want to draw. So this is Eric's selfish time. But yeah, it always, and it didn't 100% surprise me, because I realize people out there get uncomfortable stuff. It's their right. It just surprises me when people have been exposed to the fact that they can get uncomfortable, that they then are shocked at the fact that they get uncomfortable again. It's like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm like, how many times have you said that in your life? Women have boobs. You know, like, you came out of a woman. Haven't you noticed this before? I'm just saying. I mean, maybe you came out of a vat. In that case, maybe you have a point. But
well, it's like what we were mentioning earlier, stuff about people just like being all just like weird about about stuff, and it's just like it is what it is.
Yeah.
With like it's human. Like humans have parts.
yeah.
You see parts, and it's just like.
Well, the thing that gets me to this day, okay, pretty liberal, but I understand that full frontal genitalia makes a good percentage of people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I can respect that. That just makes sense to me. The one that confuses me. Now, it would be one thing if they were like, no nipples, Period. Men, women, don't matter. At least I'm like, at least it's consistent.
No heckin' nip nops up in here.
No heckin' nip knobs. I'm like, at least it's consistent. But when they go, well, we can show dude nipples,
Yeah.
but we can't show chick nipples.
Yeah.
And I go like, you realize that between all the differences between men and women, okay, with a handful of a couple, individual, really titanically gifted lady nipples are pretty darn similar between men and women. They just are. And so when you go like, oh, we'll censor this out by pasting man nipples on top of it, you're like, now it's okay because those are man nipples and not. I just end up going like, all right, look, I am good with people being like, we can't show anatomy. This will make some genitalia. This will make some people uncomfortable. I'm fine. That makes complete sense. But when I can't draw a nipple on a character because she's female, but I can because male, it throws me off. I don't get it. I'm like, you realize there's people out there that find men's nipples exciting, right?
And even with,
There's women out there and some dudes that are really into that. So the difference is what?
and even with that, it's like, how long did it take before we started seeing them drawing male nipples on cartoons?
I know.
It's not because they wouldn't even draw dude nipples for the longest
I
time.
know. It still surprises me. I think it's still this way in Florida. Like all the pro wrestling posters, they remove the nipples on all the male wrestlers. How weird is that?
Well, it's Florida.
No, I don't care. I don't care. I just go like, because I saw like somebody put up one of these posters on somewhere on the internet. I don't remember. This was a while ago. I just looked at it. I'm going like, that's strange. That is really strange looking. They're like, yep, this is apparently socially acceptable in Florida. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't. It's just a nipple. It's just, folks. It's just a nipple.
Like I said, it's Florida. I'm not
It's
surprised.
But it's just fine. Hey, people aren't being shot and killed. Whatever. I'm good with it. But I just end up going like, really? I don't know. I think I couldn't take my state seriously. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna move to a different state, one where they're not irrational about nipples.
Well, this is the place that brings people like the Westboro Church, so I'm not surprised.
Each to their own. Even though sometimes that makes me really uncomfortable. Freaking nip knobs. Flipping nip knobs. So
Better not be no
funny.
heckin' nip nops up in
Heckin'.
here.
There we go. Jeez.
No heckin' nip nops up in here.
I can't be joking about heckin' nip knops and drawing me some hot girl at the same time. My brain short circuits.
Just the term heckin' nip nops. I lost it at that. And then the picture that was along with it was the hairless cat with that look, that side look. There better not be no heckin' nip nops.
Oh,
up in
that was
here.
a great picture.
Freaking love that meme.
All right. I think that's pretty good for today. I think we did pretty good. All right. If you are still on Hobby Lost 2401, you're in for a treat. Every single time we end an episode with two characters facing each other in my sketchbook, sealed forever in an eternal kiss, hermetically sealed, we get, that's right, the eternal smooch. All right. As I just probably blasted the friggin' microphone with the smack. Yeah. Right.
Peek, peek.
Oh, there goes all my levels. Anywho. Well, I didn't even get that close to right. There we go. Actually, my Mr. Rogers bit just worked pretty easily. All right. Everyone, have yourself a good week.
Again, Happy New Year, everyone. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands.
Blah,
Be nice to each other. Humanity's kind of crappy, so
Yeah.
be the light in the
Yeah, be the
darkness.
nice people. Anywho, have yourself a good